today I'm going to share with you guys about fish migration. Often we hear about seasonal migration of birds that flying from one hemisphere to another hemisphere to avoid long and cold winter. But did you know that fish migrates too? Like birds, fish can move in all directions. So why do fish migrate? According to the scientists, it is because of two main reasons, which is the first one is food, the second one is because they want to reproduce. There are three main types of fish migration: anadromous, catadromous, and vertical migration. For the first one, which is anadromous is known as where the adult fish that lives in the sea will migrate into the freshwater.
The best known anadromous fish are Pacific salmon. These salmon will hatch in small freshwater streams and then they will migrate to the sea to mature and living there for 2 to 6 years. When they mature, the salmon will return to the same stream they were hatched to spawn. And it is also said that salmon are capable of going hundreds of kilometers.
It's a game of persistence and luck. Launching themselves above the sill requires formidable acceleration. Their muscles are adapted for short, sharp bursts of energy. Leaps can cover more than 3 meters. And although they fail time after time, their desire to push on is so strong they never give up.
Second one, which is catadromous. Catadromous is where the fish from the freshwater will migrate into the sea.
The most remarkable catadromous fish are freshwater eels. In the larvae stage, larvae will drift from spawning ground to the sea before it migrate back to the freshwater as an adult eel.
So, lastly, which is vertical migration. Vertical migration is commonly and normally occur in marine fish, where they will go up into the surface of water to feed during the night and then bury themselves in the mud or hide from the predator during the day. So how actually scientists know about migration that occurs in fish? Okay, when we compare to birds, usually scientists will put the tag on the birds and then they will study about the migration of birds. But in fish, it is quite interesting and quite unique because fish with skeleton were born with a natural tag that allows scientists to study about their movement from birth to death without physically tag them. So, these natural tags are known as otolith. So, what is otolith?
Fish otoliths are ear stones that grow inside the inner ear of the bony fish, and it is said that it's made of calcium carbonate, which are the same compound that made chalk and limestone. So how do otoliths help scientists in the study of fish migration? According to the scientists itself, they said that otoliths are a fish version of flat box recorder or black box that has in the airplanes that will continuously record an airplane's flight path. Like a black box or flight recorder, otoliths log the timing and duration of critical events in the fish life. Usually, scientists will use microscope and sophisticated technology to decode visual and chemical message printed in the otolith. And then the information that usually the scientists will get is the fish age and where the fish lives at the different point in his life.
There are three main functions of otolith, which is the first one is to keep the fish balanced, and then the second one is to detect sound and water depth.
If we study the otolith of the fish, we can figure out the age of the fish by counting the growth rings on its otolith. Exactly the same way we can tell the age of the trees.
Fish ear bones? The ear bones, they were just wow. Because I never thought a whale would have an ear bone or a fish.
Just like we have ear bones that help us with balance, orientation, and sound detection,
the otoliths get to our lab from the surveys that we conduct during the summer. We send teams of scientists out onto commercial fishing boats that we contract, and we fish in the Gulf of Alaska and the Bering Sea. We separate all the fish by their species. We weigh them all, we measure them all, and we figure out if they're boy fish or girl fish. After that, we decide which fish do we want to take otoliths from. We take the otoliths out and we put them in a collection vial, and then we ship them down to Seattle.
Sometimes Chris can see enough detail on the surface of the otolith to count all of its rings, but usually he cuts them in half with a scalpel blade, and then roasts them in a toaster at 500 degrees for about 5 minutes. Burning the otoliths really brings out the ring so Chris can make the most accurate observation possible.
So how exactly otolith helps scientists in knowing more about fish migration? In otolith, there are chemical elements, where the chemical element from the surrounding water and then also from the food that fish eats absorb into the otolith. This chemical that found in the otolith might be unique to the habitat where the fish lives. Hence, by combining the growth rings and then the chemical analysis, it is possible to estimate how long the fish spend their life in each habitat. In conclusion, it is really important to know and study about migration of fish, so we can first manage the wild population, the second, conserve the endangered species, and then the third one, protect the area that are important for the fish. That's all from me. Thank you.